They said knowledge was dangerous. He proved them right because one word on paper could be worth more than 1,000 swords. For in a world where chains rattled louder than voices, the greatest fear of the oppressor was not rebellion of the body, but rebellion of the mind. A boy with nothing, no land, no freedom, no name beyond what was forced upon him, dared to believe that ink could unlock doors iron could never guard. This is not merely the tale of a runaway slave. It is the story of a spark, one small flame of literacy that would spread like wildfire, defying whips, laws, and silence itself. And so our journey begins. The night was quiet, save for the whistle of the wind weaving through the fields. A boy no older than 12 ran barefoot through the dark soil, his breath ragged, his heart pounding like war drums. Behind him, the plantation loomed like a prison, its shadow stretching across the land he was leaving behind. His name was Elias Carter, though in the world he was born into, names hardly mattered. He was just another slave boy, until tonight. Tonight he was a runaway. Days later, Elias found refuge in an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. Inside, scattered on a rotting table, he found something he had never seen before up close. A torn book, its pages yellow, its ink faded, but alive with strange symbols. He touched the letters as though they were holy relics. If I can learn these marks, maybe I can be free. But learning was forbidden. To teach a slave to read was a crime punishable by law. Knowledge was power, and power was the one thing slaveholders feared. By day, Elias worked odd jobs in hiding, hauling wood, cleaning stables, trading labor for scraps of food. By night, in that lonely cabin, he wrestled with letters. Then one evening, he met Sarah, a young, enslaved girl from a nearby farm who had heard of the runaway boy hiding in the woods. She was curious about the strange sounds he muttered when he was alone. "What are you whispering, Elias?" Showing her the book. "It's a language, a secret one. It can break chains." Soon others began to come, boys and girls no older than him, sneaking away from the quarters at night, hearts racing with fear, but eyes burning with curiosity. There, under the flicker of a stolen candle, Elias became their teacher. With a stick and a patch of dirt for chalkboard, he scratched letters into the ground. In the stillness of the night, whispers turned into lessons. Letters became words. Words became hope. But words spread. Secrets never stayed buried long. One night, Elias heard dogs barking in the distance, men's voices shouting. His students scattered, fear choking their throats. A slave catcher grabbed Elias, slamming him against the ground. "You think you can outsmart your place, boy? Reading won't save you." Bloodied but unbroken, Elias spat back with trembling defiance. "No, sir, but it will save us all." He was beaten and left for dead in the woods. But the spark had already been lit. His pupils carried the lessons forward. Even when Elias lay weak, his students gathered in secret, passing letters hand to hand, guarding scraps of newspapers like treasure. Years passed. Elias grew into a young man, scarred but unbowed. By then, whispers of resistance echoed across the South. Slave rebellions, escapes through the Underground Railroad, and speeches by free black men in the North were shaking the foundations of slavery itself. And Elias's lessons had not been in vain. Those children he once taught had become messengers, spreading literacy across plantations, one candlelit night at a time. Books traveled faster than chains, pens struck deeper than whips, and a generation rose, not with muskets, but with words. Elias himself made his way north, guided by abolitionists. In a small church in Philadelphia, he stood before a crowd for the first time, holding a book in trembling hands. Elias, voice breaking but strong. "They told us letters were forbidden, that reading was dangerous. They were right. Knowledge is dangerous. To those who would keep us in chains. Tonight I say, let every letter be a key, every word, a weapon, and every book, a torch." The audience erupted. For the first time, Elias felt what true freedom meant, not just the freedom of body, but of mind. The Civil War erupted soon after. Union soldiers marched south, and enslaved men and women flocked to freedom. Among them were many who had once crouched in the dirt around Elias's candle, whispering the alphabet like prayer. Some became soldiers, some became teachers, some became preachers, spreading both the word of God and the word of literacy. And Elias? He never forgot the night he first traced those faded letters in an abandoned cabin. He knew freedom had not come from steel alone, but from ink. Ink freed a nation, not by spilling blood, but by awakening minds. The boy who once ran barefoot through the dark had sparked a revolution of words, and though his name may never appear in history books, his legacy lived on in every Black child who learned to read, in every classroom born from chains, and in every free soul who dared to write their own story. This was the power of ink, the ink that freed a nation.